everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to have you. If you're joining us for the first time, super welcome to you. My name is Muriel Atai. For those that are joining us for the first time, I'm so happy that we've grown and that the family is growing, that people continue to share feedback, to share their comments, and that these experiences are actually impacting someone out there. As I've mentioned in many of my videos, everything that I share on set is probably from an experience that I've gone through or for a friend, but are usually true and authentic stories that we tell here. Today, in a special way, very many of you know that I'm an advocate for menstrual health. I will talk about menstrual health any day, anytime, anywhere when it comes up. And because I've been in so many places where I've spoken about it, there's just so many aspects that I wish to share with you. But today I'm going to focus on something called endometriosis. I know, like, the word is so long. I remember the first time I had it, I had to sit down and actually write it down, ask the doctor to write it down for me so that I could understand it. So every year in the month of Feb, the world celebrates Endometriosis Awareness Month, and it's a time where awareness is created about the disease or the condition, and also so that people become more aware, but also get into places where they're able to get diagnosed and treated successfully. So I'd always had, from the time I started having my period, which was about S3, I was 15 or 16 then, and I always had very painful periods, very heavy, and for long days, by the way, stretching up to probably 14 days. But of course, like, even in school when we studied about the reproductive system and everything to do with the uterus and all, 14 days is normal time. Like, unless it exceeds 14 days, you're really a normal human being, you're a normal adult. So it wasn't of concern to me. And then I left school, I get older, and then the pain keeps worsening. And now you begin to understand things like ovulation, and when ovulation happens, we have these calendars that help us to keep notice of our period and things like that. And then you realize that you're having pain in and out of ovulation. When women are ovulating, most of us tend to get a certain sharp pain on one side of your body, and you know that now this is the time. But then I would get that pain continuously even after ovulation, and sometimes it would come at a point where I'm thinking, wait, but the app says I should be ovulating maybe in 3 days, and yet I have the pain now, and then I have it, and it's so bad. It was so bad that I would get to a point where I couldn't walk. Like, well, it's this side, the right side. So you feel pain in your lower abdomen and you literally can't take a step. So I remember going to see a doctor, a gynecologist, and then scans were done, and then they said I had cysts, big cysts. So they gave me medication and said after the medication is done, 2 weeks later, please come back for review. Guys, I didn't go back for review, which is really a bad thing. Whenever you're told to go for review, go. I didn't go. But because I stopped feeling pain, I felt like I shouldn't go. But then it was important for the doctor to see if the cysts are gone based on the medication. We keep living our lives, doing things, but then the pain keeps now coming back. It came back again. And the next time I went, I didn't have cysts. But from the way I described the pain and how I felt it, the gynecologist said that I could have endometriosis. I had it for the first time maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And it was a word I'd not heard of before. Like, we've grown up knowing, oh, there's HIV, there's cancer, there's, like, if you go and you're told you have cancer, it's not new to your ears. Endometriosis was new to my ears. I had to go and read about it. And most of the things that I found online were not really encouraging, were not really things that got me excited about my body and things like that. And he said, we can't confirm that now, but based on your symptoms, it could be. The only way to confirm is if we do a laparoscopy. Here I am thinking, what? But then, like every guy I have met, the solution to most of our female problems are just give birth, get pregnant, have a child, and most likely it will be gone, like cysts, things like fibroids, if it's PCOS, and things like that. So I remember sharing with a friend, and she recommended that I go see a fertility specialist, who I went and met. And after consultation and doing a 3D scan, it was then known to me that I actually have polycystic ovarian syndrome rather than endometriosis. Today, however, is not a day for us to talk about PCOS. We're discussing endometriosis. And while I'm not an expert or a professional, I just feel that this is a conversation that we all need to have, especially now. It is said that at least 10 in 100 women suffer from endometriosis. And of course, based on how the world is moving, the number will probably grow. So why not know about it? So I'll just be sharing a few tips today with you. So endometriosis is an often painful disorder in which tissue similar to the tissue that normally lines the inside of your uterus grows outside the uterus. So normally what is supposed to happen is that your walls are lined with, I think, mucus or something, and it's supposed to be within the uterus. So of course, if it goes out of where it's supposed to be, you're definitely going to have pain. Some of the symptoms are painful periods. I mentioned painful periods. They say pain with intercourse, pain with urination and bowel movements, excessive bleeding, infertility, and other things that people may experience, to mention but a few. Some of the things that I suffered were really painful periods and excessive bleeding. I would bleed. One time I bled for close to a month, and it wasn't nice. Of you bleed and you don't feel like wearing a pad anymore because it has burnt you down there. You're probably uncomfortable with tampons, so you don't want to try them. But I was exhausted. I was bleeding excessively. I had bled for about a month. I went to see a gyne, and I was given hormonal tablets to help change my system. They're actually family planning tablets, contraceptives. Yes, I was given contraceptives, hormonal contraceptives, to help change my hormones a bit to reduce the flow, and it helped. But of course, this is a condition that you or I could have. And how are we able to tell, or how can we be diagnosed to tell whether we actually have endometriosis? We have a pelvic examination. You go, the guy tells you lie down. They'll probably press you a bit, feel and see where you're feeling pain. You describe the pain you're feeling. An ultrasound could be done. An MRI could also be done. But usually these are not very conclusive because they'll just see particles and things like that within your body that might not really give a clearer picture. But what is usually recommended is a laparoscopy. It's like a minor surgery that happens, and then they check and see if you have your tissues lining outside of where they're supposed to be. You could have surgery done. I can't really explain that in detail, but it's recommended. And also, like every gyne's solution to any reproductive solution, conceive. However, I've heard that conception is like a temporary fix to a problem. So you could go ahead and conceive if it is what you want, and maybe your problem will be solved, or it could come back. But whatever happens, I just think that it's important for us to not just take menstrual pain literally and just think that, yes, because women go through their menstruation that pain is inevitable. There is pain, and then there is pain that is unbearable. Like, how come my sister, for example, bleeds for 3 days? Yeah, maybe her hormones are different from mine, but then sometimes you can tell that this pain is not normal, or there could be a change in the cramps that you're feeling. And for me, that's what happened. That my cramps used to be normal and I would be able to live with it, but then it got worse to a point where I had to get a painkiller injection every time I was in my period, because that was the only way to get relief from the pain. Then you know that there's a problem. But also it helps that every year or from time to time, take time, go and get yourself checked, do a full body check and get to see if you're actually okay, if there's nothing you should be worried about. You'd rather be safe than sorry. I hope I have been helpful. I hope I have enlightened you on this particular condition. I'm not an expert again, and if you have any feedback or any more information about endometriosis, or you could be a consultant on the same, feel free to share your details in the comments, and fellow viewers will reach out. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for being here till the end. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, bye.